Hey, what's going on? This is OLA coming to you live from myEmpirePRO studios. What's going on? How you doing today? All right, so let's get to the work really quickly. Oh yeah, by the way, this is going to be our last live session. Okay, and here's why. We're trying to make the most of our time together, but also a time for business. Okay. So we have a very small YouTube channel and want to make the most of the resources available here. The beauty about this channel is that we are still in the with phase, meaning putting out more videos is what works for us, and then focusing on our advertising on Facebook and things like that. That's what works for us. The channel is not organic friendly, okay? So it's not algorithm friendly. So we want to focus on making the most out of what we're really good at, which is putting out content. So we will continue to put out content, okay? And then, but we will not be doing the live Tuesday sessions, okay? I'll focus on my coaching clients. All right. So now, with that being said, don't forget to you can go download the book for free at realestatemoneysecrets.com. If you're brand new to here, what we do in the back end is that we train people how to make money in real estate from home. No license required, no money required. All right. And then yeah, so go ahead and check that out. And also don't forget to attend the workshop masterclass. It's a 3 hours of just free game, so make sure you check that out. All right. Now, with that being said, I am happy to get into some fantastic topics today. Like I said, we will continue to release the clips and continue to have an opinion about what's going on this YouTube street. So, and we can't wait. All right. So let's get started with today's first topic. All right, so we have this this video here. If she doesn't want money, she's cap. Okay, if she doesn't want money, she's cap. That means, let me just make sure that the audio is working fine. There you go. All right, so if she doesn't want money, she's cap. That means she's pretending. If she claims she doesn't want money, she's cap. My friends at Fresh and Fit, they're here again. So let me just play a little bit of this clip, and then, obviously, there's a lot more to anything when we're dealing with romantic, right? Or romance. Let me say romance. We're dealing with romance or issues between men and women. It's never black and white. And anytime, if you want to fail at understanding this, keep putting it in a box. Keep putting it in a black and white box, right? The truth is that this whole thing is a art more than it's a science. It's an art, A-R-T, more than it's an exact science. So the continuous attempt by the Fresh and Fit and the Red Pill Rage community to put things in a box continues to fail because you just can't put these things in a box. And by the way, putting it in the box means you're not logic. You're not as logical as you think you like to think. So let me play a little bit of this.
But you said it differently.
For proving my point that there needs to be a prerequisite met first before you even entertain talking to the man.
But Myron, you kept saying attractive is what I'm saying.
Like,
You have to see attraction.
All right, so the first word I heard from him, all I need to do is hear a word from Myron, and I can hear him pushing the same narrative. It said prerequisite. Okay, a prerequisite. So basically what they're talking about is that women need a prerequisite, that a man must look good before they speak to them. And if you've lived any kind of life, if you've been around for a minute, okay, you know that this is not absolutely true, especially from a standpoint of a woman deciding who she want to talk to. This is an attempt to say that you don't need game, you just need to look good, right? For most women, it's either you have money or you look good or you're just lucky. That's what they say, right? So I have a video that I released on the channel a few days ago about, do you believe in luck or not, right? So the kids, and I like to call them kids, even though there's grown men there, but you know, some of them like to believe that you're just lucky if you're winning, right? So I released a video on that, right? So it's not like I don't believe in luck, but the idea of people using luck as an excuse to why they're not winning is the problem here. Now, something I'm not understanding here is that why is it that they have 2,300 dislikes and hit 134? Something is going wrong here. I don't know what's going wrong. But this channel is absolutely blowing up. They have 400,000 plus subscribers right now. They're blowing up very, very fast. So something is off. I'll find out because I do follow them. And anyway, so let's look in the comment area. So that's what prerequisites. You must look good. Yeah, that theory has been defied so many times. Maybe if you live on Instagram, or you live in the clubs, or your life is all about women, then you may feel that way. But if you understand the actual game of red pill, not the red pill rage, but the actual game that you need to learn as a man at some point, if you have it, then you understand that logic or that theory has been defiled so many times. Like, there's so many people that ideally, out of 10 people, 9 people would not call them good looking, but they have the most beautiful women in the world. Either they have money or not, it doesn't matter. It's the same experience. If you've had any experience in life, you've seen them around. But I know what you're about to say. They were just lucky, right? So anyway, let's go in the comment area as usual. Myron got so angry in that deleted video, he was about to cry. Don't matter how tall or rich you are, you killed your brand as an emotional baiter. Walter is the Robin Quivers of the podcast world, and I've never seen guests like Sterling Cooper clown a co-host on his own show. The live chat on your show tonight is gonna be lit. All right, so I don't know. I missed that. I need to find out what they're talking about here. Oh, now, by the way, this guy in the center right here, his name is Rollo. I forgot his full name, but it's the guy who wrote the book Rational Male. I've listened to some of his video. He's on point with a lot of stuff, you know, especially that he's speaking from a psychological standpoint. A lot of time, Myron is speaking from emotions, and this one is always confused. It seems to me. Fresh is always confused somehow. But anyway, let's keep going here. Nah, don't backpedal now. Y'all talked all that ish about those guys. Insult his wife. Invited him to your hands. And when he accepts, now you don't want beef. Keep that same energy. Okay, there's a beef going on. Maybe they fell. So I need to find out what's going on here. Maybe that's why there's a dislike. They may have tampered with the wrong brand here. You came after his wife. Now he's coming after your life. Oh my God. Something is going on. So there's a beef going on, but it's only a matter of time. Again, this kind of kids, they can blow up. Just like you see people blow up on reality TV shows. They get their 15 minutes of fame. And I hope they don't fail, personally, because they're winning. And everyone has a journey that they have to kind of embark on. And part of that is learning and adjusting as life goes on, because I don't think I was ever in a space where I feel like I should attack women all the time. But I understand being young and not knowing what life is all about. When you try to look at everything from a quote unquote one and zeros, black and white standpoint, it always fails. And men, even men of all different types of ages, make this mistake. They want to discount feelings when they're talking about logic or facts. They want to discount the effect of feelings on the life that we live. And the way they're expressing that is that they get caught up in their feelings and they're expressing that same thing all emotionally, right? So it's like it's a failing battle. It's a losing battle for the most part. But anyway, this numbers is telling me something. Something is going wrong here. The math looks like they attacked somebody. I will find out. They removed the previous video. What happened to the accountability they're always talking about? Yeah, I'm sure that video is somewhere. I'll find it. Now I'm curious, right? Again, the YouTube streets has its own drama. Not y'all trying to dodge the fight. You guys wanted to talk all that disrespectful shit. Run the fade. Okay, this has nothing to do with what happened. I'll find it. Let me see here. So Fresh and Fit basically is a YouTube channel that blew up over the past I don't know, like a year now, and they run shows. They stage a really nice show, I must say. But apparently they've removed some kind of videos right now, and I will find it. Yeah. So, but the point is that they're always competing with the ladies. Okay. And to be honest with you, there are moments, as a young man, there are moments that's going to make you feel like a woman is lying, or women lie, or they're never owning up to anything like that. There are moments. But there's a place you also have to graduate to as a grown man, where you just understand women as women, right? Where you understand that if there's a blurry line between expressing yourself emotionally and seeing it as lies, right? And it takes a grown man to understand that. And I'm not saying people are not men enough. I'm saying no, there is growth in life, and sometimes you just have to wait for that to catch up. So when a woman says, no, I don't care about looks, to an extent she's copying. Yes, I agree. To a large extent, not necessarily. There are a lot of women that will get with a confident man, and the idea that looks always precedes confidence is also a lie, because confidence is an energy. You don't have to see that person honestly before you can be attracted to their confidence. And the same thing, funny enough, goes around the other way around too. As a man, we're attracted to confident women. We are. And you can ask enough people, as much as the red pill rage community try to dumb women down to not speaking when men are in the room, a lot of us men are attracted to confident women. And many of you that are not men enough will probably call that simping. It is all good. But anyway, let's continue to watch it. This is I hope I brought some insights there. Let's get on to the next video that I think you will find interesting here. All right, so this guy's right here, Mr. I think it's Lucario, and I forgot the name of his partner. But this is a good channel. If you're a young man and you're looking for a place where you can learn much more better than what you could possibly regurgitate from Fresh and Fit. Okay? If you're willing to learn game, I suggest that you check these guys out. Okay? I don't know much about them. I've just listened long enough to know that it's okay to come here and learn some game. They are a little vulgar, but that's okay. Like, I will hope that's okay, right? But they did this video, and I plugged in and I listened a little bit, and some really cool advice. They gave some really good advice, and sometimes they have 4 of them on, they have 2 of them on, but their advice are quite brash. But they're advising men, so I'm okay with it personally. It's still 2021, it's not 2050. So the idea that you can't be brash when you're advising men, it's not in my books personally. It's 2021, like I said, not 2050. You can receive some straightforward words in the form of brash, so that you can get it straight. Because frankly, personally, I feel like some of these kids don't get it until you use such languages, right? So they can be harsh a little bit, but I promise you, if you listen into the content, you walk away with some game. Some game. I tend to agree for the most part to what the kind of game they're giving these young men, and I feel like a lot of red pill rage kids end up in this community, and then they get dragged once they start pushing their rhetorics of women are the enemy. They don't say it exactly like that, but they say it in all types of different ways. Women are filed for divorce 80% of the time. These guys don't focus on that. These guys focus on why. Even though that statistics is true, right? They focus on why it is in fact true. What led to that? where is it that the men are failing for most women to be filing divorce? And funny enough, Lucario is a self-proclaimed polygamist, right? So he has a girlfriend, he has a wife. But when I've listened to him, he's on point still, regardless. That's why I said it doesn't really matter what system you plug into. If you're a terrible person who is trash, you're just trash. And you don't get to blame it on other people or the systems, right? The systems are the systems for a reason, because it's some kind of system that the society at large is subscribed to, meaning they agree to it, right? So, so you can see, let me see, you ain't taking care of your stable properly, caller, so you're gonna lose more women than gain. So it's usually men who come here and complain why, you know, they try to cap on why they're being dumped by women. And when you understand that this is a game, at the end of the day, it's not a joke, it's a game you need to learn, right? Then you can always find a place where you can leverage some kind of power that you have, you can leverage and have women behaving in favor of you, right? Without hurting them, of course, right? Without trying to bring them down, if you know what I mean, right? So I think it's interesting. So I think they're interesting. I think you should go there and check them out if you're a young man and you want to learn. Miles was preaching. Okay, so his name is Miles. The second guy is Miles. These shows are getting better and better. That should be the next topic of real game. No theory. Theory is dangerous. See, game versus theory, right? That's an interesting way. So a lot of people try to learn what they learn from the Red Pill Rage channels, not Red Pill Rage channels. What they learn from there are exact science type of rhetorics, like 80% of women file for divorce, you know, or women are terrible. They don't say it exactly like that. Again, they have their own special fancy ways of saying these things, right? One day I'm gonna come up with like 21 talking points of the Red Pill Rage community, and then I'll put them out here for you guys and debunk all of them, right? So instead, they teach you game, and that's personally what I teach here as well. That's what I think you need to learn. It is an art, because there are going to be times that you need to use your discretion, because something you learned yesterday theoretically may just be the wrong move today. But if you have game, which is a function of time and learning this thing over time, a lot of times you need a good coach to teach you these things over time. A lot of times you need experience to be able to comprehend what we're talking about, right? So theory will fail you, okay? This isn't just a one-time incident. Countless men are lashing out, there you go, and going crazy because they're allowing these communities online. I'd love to hear Mr. 1950s thoughts on this BS. Yeah. If you don't play, you can't win. Success is 99% failure. Facts. We all had difficulty. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. You know what you could be doing instead of looking at data? There you go. So a lot of kids, people like Myron from Fresh and Fit, are stuck on data and all the scientific facts, and they're smart kids. But when you lack game, you lack game. You could be smart, be an A student, and you just lack game. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense yet, and I'm actually contradicting myself, because I'm also forcing you into a space where you kind of like have to overthink and master this. But also, I could probably clean it up by saying, live some life first, have some experience, right? Because with experience, you will have some street smart skills to be able to discern, right? You understand that, oh, okay, yeah, I knew that looked like that yesterday, but let me change it up today. It's more of an art than it's a science, okay? I'm trying to make sure my age factor don't disturb my pronunciations here. The art is an art, not an exact science. So you have to have some experiences, and if you don't have experiences, you need a good coach so they can break things down for you a little bit, for you to understand that data, first of all, is a lagging indicator of other people's expressing feelings over time and life and society taking shape and form, right? So if you look at things with data stuck in your head, you're always going to get it wrong, and you're going to get dumped by women and society over and over, and you're going to succumb eventually to being an incel. Terrible, terrible lifestyle, okay? Because again, avoiding relationships and marriages is not going to solve your problem of just being trash. You're just trash. If you're trash, you're trash, right? And avoiding relationships and marriages is not a thing. It doesn't exist unless you go start living in a cave somewhere. You can tell yourself you're avoiding relationships and marriages, but you're effectively never going to be able to avoid relationships because you have to deal with other human beings. You can avoid romance, but the idea that you're a trash human being is still going to reflect. And it reflects on your livelihood, your lifestyle. It's going to be trash. So the key is to continue to work on yourself. You could be getting at some bitches, bro. Yeah, that's the way that's this guy right here, Miles. That's how he talks. And that is on point. So I'm telling you right now, if you're a young man, please, watch Fresh and Fit as entertainment for entertainment purposes only. Honestly, from where I'm from, they said, "Where they doing go?" Let me see if I can translate that. It means you can watch a lunatic for entertainment. I know, terrible, but yes, but you don't want to have a lunatic as a child. Okay, so I would watch Fresh and Fit for entertainment purposes all day long. But if you want to learn real game, I would definitely suggest stick around here on my channel, but also check out Mr. Lucario. All right, so I think they've got what it takes to teach a young man on how to operate in the society that we live in right now, and frankly, I think also into the future. All right. All right, awesome. So it looks like we're turning to some kind of review channel, something like that. I don't know, but anyway, we're supposed to be reviewing comments and reacting to comments because I find them entertaining. But yes, this video right here is by one of my favorites, Kevin O'Leary. So Kevin O'Leary is a guy I will reference as a dick, right? Like as an asshole, right? But when you understand the kind of game that we're playing, entrepreneurship and in relationships, right? You start to understand that you can literally look at yourself and hire an asshole as a mentor, as a coach, because there's something about them. They're cutthroat. They're straight to the point. But with that being said, I want to encourage the ladies, please, you don't have to have that, because we need you to be in your femininity. And in order to be in your femininity, you can't be in a space where you feel the need to protect yourself, because that takes you straight into your masculine mode. And your very essence, for a typical lady, not all, for most of them, you show your essence more when you're in your femininity, right? So disregard what I said. But for young men, okay, it's okay to hire somebody you see as a straight asshole to mentor you, because they have some ability to see things through the BS that life presents. Case in point, feelings, right? How do you have feelings? Understand that you have emotions as a man, but also understand how to tweak it so that you can attract life and love, right? In the way that you actually like, which means the lady you choose can choose to submit to you, right? She can respect you, she can trust you. As a matter of fact, you command respect in society, right? How do you do that, right? So you have to be extremely, anally objective. You have to be willing to be objective. And when you are wrong, you have to be willing to hold yourself accountable faster than you're attempting to hold other human being accountable. It just doesn't work, right? I know you've tried it. It doesn't work, especially if we're talking about the only thing you can do is attract. That's the only thing you have power over. And that's why you have to hold yourself accountable so you can attract what you want. That's how you attract what you want. You don't hold other people accountable and attract what you want. Anyway, I digress. So he has this video about education has nothing to do with success. Now, there's going to be somebody that will read that title and say, no, education is key, right? Nah, education is key. There's going to be somebody that will do that. And I understand where that person is coming from. But also, that person has a massive blind spot, okay? Now, first of all, before you stumble into Kevin O'Leary's videos, which are really, really great, insightful videos, if you want to build a business, if you want to build a lifestyle around entrepreneurship, these are really, really great videos, right? It's a guy that you want to watch to help you watch the other end of being defensive, right? So you play offense and you play defense in any game, so including entrepreneurship, right? So if you want to protect your defense game really, really good, Kevin O'Leary is a good guy to listen to, because it's one of those guys that believes in long-term investment vehicle, right? So that's the kind of guy that you want to listen to help you with that. Excuse me, I'm trying to fix this chair that's making this crazy noise, right? All right, so now on the offense side of things, there may be other people you can listen to help you be a little bit more aggressive in terms of active income. So for example, I don't know if I told you earlier, let me just go ahead and post it. If you're looking for more of active income, right? I do teach that here as well when it comes to making money with real estate. You go to fliphousesnationwide.com. It's a free masterclass, and then you can download the free book at realestatemoneysecrets.com. Right? So that's more aggressive, especially if you're younger. You can still take younger as in younger than 65. You can still take advantage of some of active, aggressive investment vehicles, right? But if you're looking to protect all of that with some defensiveness, this guy is good. Now, he made a statement about education, and I'm just going to play it real quick.
2/3 of you are going to fail. The other third of you are going to try and make it and are going to go through living hell. You have no idea. You think you know so much, the real world is going to chew you up and spit you out.
All right, so it is true that this word is vicious, okay? That's some of the things that young men don't understand yet. This world is vicious. It will chew you up, it will spit you out in the form of your job, entrepreneurship, politics, relationships, right? And they're not just being fair. Ladies need to be held accountable. They're not because you're looking for people to be fair with you. There's this entitlement spirit that kids of nowadays are walking around with, and it backfires really, really badly. Okay, because by default the world is not fair. There's another saying that in love and war all is fair. That's the same thing I just said, essentially. And if you don't get that, you're going to have a serious problem in this life, because sometimes you put in so much effort and you don't get the result that you think you deserve. So I suppose of you to figure out other ways and find other ways to leverage what your strength might be, you may end up getting your feminine and start complaining, okay? It doesn't work, all right? Now, I don't want to mix up the feminine masculine thing with business and entrepreneurship, because it's a case-by-case situation, right? But I just want to say this really quickly, that it is in fact true that when you get out here in this world, this is why if a woman is not built to fight wars and fight in this vicious world of trying to build a business, they have something else coming for them. So it's even worse when you have a man complaining that, hey, I paid for something, somebody scammed me. Like, you paid for something, somebody scammed you. How much did they scam you? Scammed you $14 million or $2,000? Or you paid for a course and somebody scammed you. Oh, okay, let's talk more about that. What happened? So it comes down to how aggressive you want to be, right? Right. If you're really an aggressive person, you're probably too busy trying to figure out what you may be missing, trying to Google more information. Again, playing offense, right? So even when it comes to playing the defense, you have to be offensive with that, right? You have to be offensive with that. So a lot of young people, like some people will quit their job. They just quit the job and say, hey, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And the next 5 years of their life is going to be extremely painful because the bills is always chasing them. They're making the wrong decisions in business. But if you had listened to me, I would tell you, do not quit your job unless you replace your income. Now, what am I saying there? I'm playing defense. Okay? Yeah, but I need to have time so I can play more aggressively. Well, that means you have to work 60, 80 hours a week for the meanwhile. Okay? In the meanwhile, temporarily, you have to do what you have to do. Like I said, this is not a place where you come to and you say, hey, I'm looking for a place where people can, or the world can play fair with me. It doesn't exist. And that's what this is about. So a lot of people go through the educational institutes and they come out with this entitlement spirit. You know, they checked all the check marks, you know, everything on the checklist was checked, and they felt entitled that it should be smooth, but yeah, it can be, you'll be ripped apart. Okay? And everyone will go through their own version of what I just said. It's not going to be exactly like the other person, so it's not exactly an easy thing to copy and paste it into your life. We have to unpack what kind of story you're going through, your particular specific situation, right? So, did everyone hear Mr. Wonderful? MIT, Harvard, Penn are brands. Facts. Okay? Those schools, I went to NJIT. Those are just brands. If you want to leverage them as brands. Don't turn them to entitlement because you still have to fight hard in the marketplace. They are brands such as Rolex and Omega. A Rolex tells time as does a Seiko. So where I'm from, we call that Seiko. A Harvard MBA is 60 credit hours, as in a U of Iowa MBA. A good, well-built watch would tell time accurately whether it cost $50,000 or $500. It's brand, and branding meaning optics, right? Meaning packaging, meaning your representation, how you dress is how you're going to be addressed. All of those things may seem unfair, but that's the world we live in. Learn the game and play the game. Don't complain. Learn the game and play the game. Stop complaining, please. It's not going to work out. Okay? The longer you complain for, the more suffering you're going to attract. It's as simple as that. But guess what? On the other side of that, the reward is greatly great. All right, so we have a topic here. Kevin Samuel says marriage is a duty. This was on the Lapif Network, right? So Lapif Network is also a community that I rock with. What I like about them is that it's a discussion. Okay, it's just a discussion, just people talking. A lot of heated arguments, right? And but it's fun watching them. Anytime I get a chance to catch small clips, like 10 minutes clips. The long 5 hours live streams are too long. I don't have time for that. But I appreciate them cutting it into pieces like this. So anyway, let's attack the topic. Kevin Samuel says marriage is a duty, and Lauren is open to arranged marriages. So I did another video on our channel on arranged marriage and why it is not going to solve your problems. Arranged marriages, polygamy, right? Domestic discipline, God forbid, right? Like they described the other time. Those things are not going to solve your problems, okay? If your relationship skills are trash, they're just trash, okay? What really makes any one of these things work, if they ever work, are the underlying relationships. That's it, okay? But some people need to talk for 5 hours to figure this out. Or some people need to listen to a live stream of 5 hours to figure this out. I can respect that. That's why they're getting 15,000 views on a video, okay? Somebody says, I was slammed months ago when I started the conversation about arranged marriages for black women. No family structure for age. You got 80% coming from female households. No training and no father training and discipline. you need a family before you can set up an arrangement. There you go. That's a good point right there. If you don't have family, how are you going to have arranged marriage? So people were talking about arranged marriages, and they actually started to confuse it with matchmaking. It's not a matchmaking. There are bigger reasons behind arranged marriages, and it has failed many people in India where they actually practice it. As a matter of fact, I just had a coaching session this very afternoon where it actually failed a person from way back when. So this is actually a person telling me about her parent, that her arranged marriage failed, where she ended up in a toxic situation with an older man that she was arranged with. So again, when you want to talk about some of these things, don't forget to talk about the downsides of it. If you're going to talk about nuclear family versus extended family, or let me say nuclear versus a polygamous family, right? Make sure you talk about the strength and weakness of each one before you make a decision. Don't just come from the standpoint of the grass is greener on the other side. You will always fail. That's why a lot of people are failing in relationships too, because they're always coming from a standpoint of the grass is greener on the other side. The grass seems greener on the other side because somebody is watering that grass. That's it. That's why, okay? The grass seems greener on the other side because it's actually green, probably because somebody is watering that grass. So if you don't learn how to water your own grass, you could change systems, you could change context all you want, you can change the container where you belong, your culture, your religion, you can change all of that. If you have trash relationship skills, you're going to have a serious problem. Well, it's not for the older women, okay, it's for the younger women, 18 to 28, okay, and it should be only for the older men that has proven record of resources. Okay, so now this is another element to it, right? Okay, because nobody's gonna hand in an arranged marriage type of society, and no one is gonna be comfortable handing off a child, usually a child, 14, 13-year-old girl, over to somebody who doesn't have resources. I know it starts to sound disgusting already, right? So again, you're talking about a different society altogether. And when Lauren, with this young lady on the show, she was talking about she's open to arranged marriage, I'm not sure if she knew what she was talking about or what she was subscribing to, right? She doesn't know. And that's why they get into this heated argument from time to time. Let me see. The marriage is a real business in Amira's culture. The father is the first line of defense for his daughter when she is young. Father, brother. So also when Amira is talking, it's like, because I have that same experience too with Nigerians. You have a lot of Nigerians who grew up in America. They try to speak for what the culture is, and they usually failed by attempting to do that. Because there's a context. Context matters. You can't say, oh yeah, this is how these things, and you don't understand the full context. You're always going to fail. Or try to tell people what they call certain type of people, and then you take it completely out of context. You're always going to fail with that. Context matters. So when Amira tells me, and she's telling me how arranged, which is not really an arranged marriage, by the way, it's just basically her seeking the consent, maybe not necessarily consent, but the approval of her father before she could talk to a guy. That's not arranged marriage. When she was talking about that, I respect what she's saying, but I take it with a grain of salt because she's so young. She won't necessarily understand the full context of what we're talking about here, right? So I agree with arranged marriage when I became Muslim and noticed the massive difference between modern culture and Islamic tradition of arranged marriage. Not forced, arranged. See, again, arranged marriage, what may have made arranged marriage work for the people that are in it is their agreement, their fact that they're in unity, right? And the fact that somebody subscribed to the thing. You can't just force people into it that don't want to do it. That's not how it works. Then you'll be missing the point. It won't be an arranged marriage at that point, right? It's strategic and has better outcomes on a bigger scale versus sleeping around and hoping. So again, this is judgmental. This sleeping around can be true in the same sentence as arranged marriage. There are people in arranged marriage that sleep around. You didn't know that, did you? Yeah. See, again, when you talk out of your ass, right, you miss the point, right? You don't understand the full context. Don't speak on it. Don't speak on it. Learn your own culture. What is going on with your own culture? Try to master what may be missing in the underlying relationship, not the structure per se. It's like trying to leave communism and going to democracy without understanding what gave birth to democracy in the first place. You're going to fail. You need to understand the deeply rooted differences that made this country went the direction of what do you call it? Is it communism? Well, whatever South North Korea practices, right? There's something deeply rooted in their tradition that made them go that direction. Sure, you could call it dictatorship or democracy. There's something happened here hundreds of years ago, toxic blood or not, that made us go in the direction of democracy. You may look on the surface, it looks like one is working better than the other, but in order for you to implement it properly into your system, you need to understand as much as possible about the context. And if you don't do that, it will fail, because again, relationship skills that are trash remains trash regardless of what container you put it in. As a matter of fact, if you take it to another container, it may be much more explosive, because you're now in the middle of a situation that you don't truly or fully understand, right? So now, to speak to the topic itself, Kevin Samuel said marriage is a duty. Sure, you can define marriage all you want as a duty. The reality is that it's not a duty. Okay? People today, 2021, get into marriages when it feels good. Okay? And there's some things you can teach people how to make it work without trying to shuffle down their throat that it's a duty. What I know is that the more you call it a duty, the more people want to run away from the idea, because it feels like no freedom, right? Are they wrong or right? You're right, they're wrong. However, telling them it's a duty does not help, right? It's not helping matters, okay? You need to, we need to settle that, let that settle in before we start to shuffle down people's throat that marriage is a duty. There's a reason why the Bible paints the narrative that marriage is a duty. It's a form of structure that people have to subscribe to first. That automatically creates the freedom and the unity that any marriage needs to survive. Calling marriage a duty does not automatically make marriages survive. If anything, it makes people feel more like they're in a bondage, right? But if you expand on marriage is a duty, why should we make it a duty? Why should an individual make it a duty? Should be the topic. What are the reward system? What are the rewards behind treating marriage as a duty? That is more of the conversation we need to have, as opposed to slapping people and giving them domestic discipline, lashing them lashes of cane. Hey, it's a duty. That's not going to work in 2021, because people are enlightened and you can't do nothing about that. You're just going to complain and cry and wolf about it. It's not going to change anything. So we need to use some wisdom when we're talking about these things. I personally treating marriage like a duty. Sure. Why? Let's talk about the why. Why? What's the reward in that for me? Short term and long term. If we can't talk about that, it's a useless statement, essentially. All right. So speaking of life is unfair and all that, right? So this guy, Daryl Hughes. Okay, I read his book. Let me see if I can tell you what his book is. Let's go to Kindle app. If you are interested in growing your YouTube channel, it may work for you, right? My YouTube channel, this one you're watching, was started in 2016. And you could see on my screen right there, in the last 48 hours, we have 199 views, right? The last 60 minutes, we have 3 views. My channel is not algorithm friendly or organic friendly, I like to call it. It's just not. Why? I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. I have ways of building my business that I don't have to depend on that, right? But his book is a YouTube formula. I read his book, put some of his work to practice and see if we could do something about it. Eventually, I had to squash it and focus on what I do best, which is conversions. I know how to convert sales with small traffic, and I also know how to get traffic to my website, my actual home website outside of YouTube. So that's what I focus on. I still leverage YouTube more so as a live streaming platform, and just to put out the content and build a catalog of all of this content. So anyone I talk to, I can reference them, they could go watch. So, from that we have a little token of somewhere between 100 and 200 views every 48 hours. It's more than enough for us to build $1 million business here. So now, with that being said, he did a video here, how to grow on YouTube channel. Channel is stuck, what to do, right? So now it depends on what you mean by channel is stuck, what to do. But I've watched the video and it's just repeating the same whatever, then it takes like half of the time to talk about mindset, right? Which is fine, because I believe that mindset also in business is mindset is 95% of business. Okay, I was talking to Anton the other day, and he said it's 95% your patience, right? Anton Daniels, right? And it's true. It's 95% patience, but it's not. That's not something that YouTube monopolized. It's actually in business too, right? In business, I like to lump patience together with consistency, right? Because those two things will be tested, because there's going to be this long period of time. Now, the growth of any platform that will ever grow is going to be exponential in nature, meaning, like, let's say on a 18-month scale, the first 6 months is going to be extremely difficult. Okay, extremely difficult. It's going to be one of the most difficult things you ever done, having to wait, aka patience, and be consistent in the same breath. Right? So it's extremely difficult. But I thought I'll go in the comment area and see if there's some comment here. People always talk about Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast spent $100,000 per video. Are you ready to spend that kind of money on videos? If you're not, don't compare yourself to Mr. Beast, because what he's spending money on are extremely entertaining stuff that people will watch anyway, from zero to end, in addition to great filmmaking, in addition to the fact that it's already huge. Of course, it did not get huge on day one, right? It started from somewhere, but that's just additional factors. It's already known too. There are people that literally wait 2 months, maybe every week, not 2 months. I think he does every week or every other week or so, to watch his next video. And he's the largest channel. This is the guy that mentored him, or that continues to help him. So he knows what he's talking about, but there's also variables beyond your control, right? For example, are you going to spend $100,000 on a video? Probably not. Okay, but there's something that's unique with you. There's something that you know how to do and other people don't know how to do. That's precisely what you need to bring to YouTube. Okay, because there's so many creators. That's precisely what you need to bring to YouTube, and then you charge accordingly to feed your family, or to sustain your boat, or to do things in a sustainable way. All right. Channels like Lofi Girl and Chilled Cow don't have new scenes every 5 to 7 seconds. So again, that's the skill set that some people will say, hey, change up the scenes every few seconds to keep interrupting the patterns in the eyes. Maybe, maybe not. There are people that have tried that, but because they have a brand new channel, it's not working out exactly like that. And they get frustrated after wasting hours trying to chop up clips. Okay. So again, I'm just shedding some light on some of the different variables. What if most channels in my niche don't care about production value and are still getting thousands of views? See, this is the confusion right here, right? They're getting thousands of views because of variables and factors that you may never find out. Okay, whichever one you can see, okay? Anything you see me put out on this channel right here is because, if it lasts longer, is because I enjoy doing it. Okay, so for example, right now I just discovered a niche that I really enjoy doing, which is comment reactions, which is what you're watching right here, right? But I don't enjoy the live stream aspect of it. I just don't. Okay, and why don't I enjoy it? Well, first of all, my time is worth gold. Literally, it's worth $1,500 an hour, literally, right? So no, I cannot sit for 1 hour and not be in control of the schedule. I want to do this on my own time. If I want to wake up in the middle of the night and record this, then I can have my assistants put them out over time. And that's what we're going to be doing starting next week. That's why we're not having live stream. Very simple. Okay. So and so it's very key to understand that whatever you're going to bring into any market space, either be it YouTube or anything like that, you need to find your own little niche, something you enjoy doing first and foremost. Some people will kick against that. You don't have to enjoy doing it. No. So in order to help those people, something you enjoy doing but it's also extremely productive, that help you become a producer in the marketplace, because at the end of the day, the money you're going to make is going to be a function of the value you bring to the marketplace, right? When I say value you bring to the marketplace, specifically how many people you're going to touch with your value. Okay, if you can only serve one people in 1 week, you're not going to get paid that much. Okay, if you can serve multiple people in 1 week, you're going to get paid a lot, right? And obviously, so it's a function of both quality and quantity of the people you serve, right? So it's the same thing when it comes to YouTube. I definitely got to change my chair because this is definitely becoming terrible, right? So you understand what I'm saying? So he sits down here. He talks about and I think that's why mindset, because honestly, sometimes you have to just listen over and over to mindset talks. And then one day something is going to click. So, but my advice at this point in time, before we even dig in, let me see if there's any comments below. Yeah, my advice is to really find your own niche, all right? And then, yes, great filmmaking does help. Quantity does help, okay? But quantity, you're going to have quantity to the extent that you break your back, then obviously in the long run won't help if you don't keep putting out videos, right? So that's why my strength on this YouTube channel is that we put out videos as much as we can. And the weakness on this particular channel is that it's not algorithm friendly. The algorithm, for weird reasons I don't understand, does not like it. But it's my personal brand name, okay? And it's working personally for me in my business, because we can control the variable that we can control, which is putting out content that at least in any given video, we know at least 10 people will find value in. And out of those 10 people, one person buys something worth $10,000, it's absolutely worth it, So, and that's what we're working with here. We don't try to monetize on YouTube. It's just a marketing piece, another marketing piece out there, in addition to the books, in addition to the webinars, in addition to all the ads on Facebook and stuff like that. Definitely need more of the channel breakdowns with analytics. Yeah, so overthinking the stuff, you get into data analytics, you should understand data analytics, but there's limitations to how much analytics can help you. My analytics tells me that, hey, search traffic is your thing. Just keep doing that, and that's it. We put out content that are search engine optimized, but also brand optimized. We attract a lot of people that are following other brands, as you can imagine here. Yep. So that's what I had to say on that one. All right, so this is an interesting one. A little gossip on this one to round off today. So this young lady right here is let me see if I see a better screenshot of her. So she was on a TV show that I watch quite a bit with my wife. Housewives, The Real Housewives of Atlanta, right? She was there as some kind of guest, and then one of the cast on that show, Portia, ended up being engaged to her husband, somebody she was still legally married to. So there was a lot of drama around it, and there's a lesson I'm going to pull out of this, I promise, right? And there's a lot of drama around it, around this issue. She went on a show, she talked about issues that she had with the dude, how it was humiliating, how they had a family that has now broken up. But a day before she went on the show, the ex-husband caught some kind of panic. Okay, that's actually, I'm getting to the point now, right? Which is men. This lesson is for men, as usual, right? So, and then he caught some kind of panic and then called this kid out. This kid I'm looking at, I don't know if this kid is older than 25. I doubt it, right? The gentleman I'm talking about, the ex-husband, it's got to be easily age 45 to 50-ish, you know. His name is Simon something, some long African name. I don't remember now, right? And called out this kid and said, yeah, how his wife was cheating with this kid, right? His wife was cheating with this kid and blah, blah, blah. And they couldn't maintain their silence even though they were going their separate ways, right? So now, on this video, they're making an announcement that they are, in fact, expecting. So this happened. Let me see if I can Google her name. Maybe you can see some trail of the news, okay? So this happened. Let me see. All right, so that's them right there. I don't know. How do you see like a timeline of what's going on? But anyway, so she's announced that she's pregnant for this kid, Jalen. His name is Jalen Banks, right? And some things are predictable. That's actually my own subtopic for this video right here. Some things are predictable. Some people, when they're lost, they're lost. There's nothing you could do about it. It is what it is, right? And who's lost in this case? All three of them, okay? All three of them are lost, okay? First of all, if you're breaking up from a marriage, the last thing you want to do is be pregnant for a young boy almost instantly. Oh my God. I'm not predicting suffering for her, but that's precisely what's going to happen. Now, I don't think money is their problem, but the problems that money cannot fix are the worst problems in the world. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, right? The problems that money cannot fix are the worst problems in the world. Okay? And that's the kind of problem that these people have. Okay? In addition to that, they're putting everything out on the open and the blast, right? And I can see in this kid's face that he's in some kind of captivity. He may not know it. He may actually say otherwise, right? He may not know that right now. But now they're about to bring another life into this world that did not ask to be here. Right now, at first, there was denial that they were together. But somehow, oh yeah, they're now together, right? And sometimes when the red pill rage kids, when they go at it, I can understand why, because of situations like this, right? That's not an excuse not to be a leader in the society, right? Because you're still going to be a leader. You're still leading, either you admit it or not, either you take on that role deliberately or not, intentionally or not. You're still leading. You're just going to attract chaos into your life. This kid is the man in the equation right now, from what I can see, because Simon has moved on with another person's woman without being emotionally free first. So Simon moved on and engaged another woman that was still, if I'm not mistaken, was still engaged to somebody else. Maybe not. But the bottom line is that the person that he engaged was not emotionally available either. So you have all of these people in society that are not emotionally available, but they are entangling with each other without going through proper healing, especially including the men. Nothing good outside of the babies is going to come out of this. Okay? Nothing good is going to come out of it. Now, what people try to do is try to sugarcoat and try to brush things under the rug and just move on like nothing has happened. I can respect that. Because honestly, at the end of the day, it's a journey anyway. It's just a journey for everyone. And no one can judge anyone. Okay? But the lesson I wanted to pull out of this is that I want you to grow some discernment spirits and learn how to observe some things from afar. Don't wait until it becomes your own personal story before you can learn. Some things are predictable, right? Okay? Now, everyone will go through things in life. So I'm not predicting suffering for this too, but what I can tell you is that life has just gotten more complicated for them. They may be attempting to do some kind of public relationship crisis handling here, but you know most of the crises we'll go through as human beings is going to come from the inside, right? It's going to be self-inflicted. Yeah, healing is necessary because at the end of the day, you're going to go through things in life. So it's very important that you make sure you're good as a person first before you engage other people, much less engaging little boys like this. I don't think this kid knows what he's doing. It just doesn't look like it. I feel like I have a son like him. He looks exactly like, I'm looking into his eyes. I can see almost like I'm looking into the eyes of my 13-year-old son. Yeah, but he's going to learn, but we're all going to learn. That's fine too, right? But I just found it interesting that many of us don't pay attention to little things that are happening around us on TV and stuff like that. Use that in your life to gauge crisis when it's coming from afar, right? See, people can exit your life. It's okay. Allow them to go. Mourn it. Cry over it if it's somebody you really care about. But make sure you go through proper healing before you move on to other people, because, yeah, you're going to have layers of all this kind of spirits and energy in your life. And you know what the scripture says, Ephesians 6:12. We don't fight against flesh and blood, okay? It's this kind of demons, unseen stuff right here. But you can see it, but not really, right? But you have to have a discernment spirit. But I wanted to point this out. I'm not really in the game of predicting misery for people, but there's some things that are just way too obvious. This boy is too young. He cannot possibly comprehend what he just got himself into. And eventually he's going to come out of it and then join the red pill rage and then try to act like women are wrong. No. All right? Everyone is right and everyone is wrong. It's a game of life. You have to learn how to play it. You have to learn how to move. Okay? Let's see some of the comments. I know people were simping to them when this was premiering on YouTube. Somebody said, well, wow, at least you announced it on your own time and on your own channel. I pray for a safe baby delivery. Like I said, the beautiful thing that will come out of this is the only thing is baby, right? But the ups and downs of that relationship, it's going to be interesting to watch over the coming months and years. Before you all go in, someone said she was pregnant 6-7 months ago, which she proved is a lie. Okay, Simon. His name is Simon. That's the ex-husband. So she's obviously newly pregnant here, 2 months in. So she didn't have a baby on Salmon Crooked. I'm here for the beauty queen. For those saying there's 2 months, no one has an obvious baby bump at 2 months. She's in the second trimester. So people are going to have all kind of opinions. I just did. But I'm not really worried about the baby, because I think the most beautiful thing that will come out of this is the baby. I'm not worried about them either. I'm talking to you that you're listening to me. Make sure that you move on properly when you disengage a romantic relationship, and make sure you know what you're doing. Try your best that you're good. Try your best to make sure you're good first. There's no 100% good ever. Just make sure you're engaged in therapy. Make sure you're engaged in learning how you operate. Make sure you're good. And when something like this goes on, if I were them, I would give myself space of 1 to 2 years and mourn that situation properly, because life is not going anywhere, and make sure I'm good. But I've seen enough stories that I know where this is heading for the most part. Okay. And by the way, I could be wrong. I will happily be wrong if that's the case in this situation, you know. But again, this is just me talking to you. If you're in a romantic relationship and you feel like it's over, mourn it properly before you move on, because you will make things more complicated for yourself by moving on too fast or engaging in romantic relationships too early. This kid was on a trip with her and her husband literally a few months ago that they brought him on, right? There is nothing good about, just like there was nothing good about what it looked like when the ex-husband engaged Portia, who was the cast on the other show. There's nothing good about this. And playing self-vengeance is never good, because the scripture says, the Lord says, vengeance is mine. Something to that effect. I was trying to remember that, but that was... All right, so that's it on this episode. What I would try to do is make sure that We keep releasing the happy hour at 5 o'clock every day. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure that you hit the thumbs up. Make sure that because all of this will increase your chances of seeing the video in your feed. And share the video with people you know may like. But at 5 p.m. every single day, you will get, except Fridays. On Fridays, we release videos on real estate, except Fridays. So, but every other days of the week, you will get notification as soon as we release this at 5 p.m. every day. But you can watch it at any time, you know. So if you're interested in learning how to make money with real estate from home, then simply go download this book for free at realestatemoneysecrets.com. And after that, make sure you go to fliphousesnationwide.com and attend the 3 hours masterclass where I'm giving away all the game on how to flip houses from home. You don't need experience. You don't need to have your own cash. You don't have to, what else? You don't have to be licensed. No, you don't have to be licensed. And you can do this from anywhere in the world as long as there's internet. But precisely, we're talking about United States real estate. You can flip United States houses from anywhere in the world using the skill set you learn in this masterclass. Hopefully, you've been enlightened and educated, and I will see you on the next one. And peace.